Hey guys, today I wanted to chat a bit about Rainbow Six Siege. But what is it and why do I think it's worth talking about? At its core, it's a 5v5 objective-based competitive shooter that's focused on playing unique characters called operators in a team setting. And while these elements of a shooter aren't overtly new, they are very special in this case. I'd consider Siege the best shooter of this generation, in the same vein of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 and Halo 2, just to name a few. The real things to note here though are that Siege's whole focus is on the competitive aspect of play. There really is no Siege without that. Sure, there are some game modes that let you play against computer-controlled opponents, but that doesn't really carry the same soul that the multiplayer does, in my opinion. This is due to a factor called social presence. It's the awareness of being socially connected to others. Generally, a higher social presence leads to greater enjoyment of the game. And really, for most of us, we're playing games for fun, whether it be by ourselves or with friends. So social presence is necessary in a game like Siege. But why? Not all games need to be played with others. I compared the greatness of Siege to games like Modern Warfare 2 and Halo 2, in which big parts are the story modes. But the main difference here is that Siege has no story component. As I said earlier, it is focused on the competitive, and therefore all this game's resources go into the multiplayer. This is why I think it's special. It's a game that has forgone a story mode or any other mode to strengthen the one focus of the game, and not all games get this right. So why is it so right? What makes it so satisfying? I'd say this is probably a twofold answer, with a focus on mechanics and a focus on the social. I want to start off by talking about mechanics. This game isn't the friendliest to new players. You've got to learn map layouts, location callouts, operators, shooting mechanics, and they aren't easy. But I do think it's good for the game. Having a steep learning curve makes improving all the more satisfying. When you learn the layout of a map, you play better because you know where to flank or where to defend. When you learn operators, it lets you play to your strengths or exploit other people's weaknesses. All of this learning, while tough, is satisfying as you grow as a player. But this isn't solely about you. Putting this learning into a team context, with 4 other players, is what makes this exceptional. The better you get at the core mechanics, the more useful you feel in a team. And this is where Siege's social aspect comes into play. The focus on having to be a cohesive team as opposed to allowing one person to be able to do everything. Although this does happen sometimes, it forces some sort of interaction. And in the circumstances where you don't get a toxic player who for some reason has it out to ruin the game for you, you find an environment where everyone has the same goal, and they're often willing to help. This leads to some sort of informal mentorship among newer and older players. A real example of this happened to me just this week. One of my friends bought Siege, and on his first day he didn't know operators, he didn't know map layouts or callouts, but he was having fun because he was in a friendly, helpful and social environment. By day 2, through help from friends and his own perseverance, he got MVP. He was obviously happy about it, and this pushed him to play more. And this is something I think is present with all Siege players. I know for myself specifically, the better you get, the more you're pushed to play better. And while playing the game firsthand, or passing on or receiving knowledge from others is great, this is where the social dimension of Siege is pushed even further, through participatory culture. This is players becoming a part of this, making their own content, helping others learn. For Siege, this is through things mainly like YouTube and Twitch, primarily, and it shows that the Siege community, while toxic at times, it's always willing to help people get better. So this was just my little take on why I think Siege is so satisfying, and the two main facets of it. So I hope you might have learned something, or just I'd like to hear your opinion, and maybe you just enjoyed it, so thanks.